in GS2, we think it's only about the polity, governance and international relations. Most of the aspirants, basically what will happen means we will not focus upon social justice. In today's session, I am going to discuss about the social justice of GS2, which is covering 30 to 45 marks. 30 to 45 marks of social justice is in GS2, but no one bother about the social justice. What are the topics which are there in social justice? Out of 250, 3 questions are from 2021 and 3 questions are from 2020. 2020 and 2021. That much importance is social justice. We least bother about it. For example, in UPSC syllabus, what are all the topics which are there in this? Social justice. Issues relating to development and management of social sector or services, pertaining to health, pertaining to education, pertaining to human resources. Pertaining to health, pertaining to education, pertaining to human resources. Means skill development. What is the position of skill development? We can expect questions on skill development. We can expect questions on health. We can expect questions on education, compulsory, minimum 1 question. What are the questions asked in 2020 and 2021? We will be discussing. Issues relating to poverty and hunger, which we have to link with Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals. So, these are the 2 topics which are there in the GS2 of UPSC syllabus, which is most neglected. Social justice is most neglected. Post-independence in India is also most neglected. So, from this social justice, from this GS2 of social justice, how many questions were being asked in 2020 and 2021 we will be discussing now. For example, in 2021, last 1 month, discuss the desirability of greater representation to women. Discuss the desirability means what is the requirement. Discuss the desirability of greater representation to women in higher judiciary to ensure diversity, equity and inclusiveness. Why? Because N.V. Ramana, when he became the Chief Justice of India, he directly, blatantly, he told that 50% of the judges in Supreme Court should be women. He recommended it. Not only that, he recruited as a part of collegium, 3 judges were being recruited into the Supreme Court as Supreme Court judges. For the very first time, 3 women judges at a time recruitment happened only this time. Why so? Why? Because to promote, he only gave, to promote diversity. Why? Because it is dominated by men. There is a need for diversity. The diversity can happen by women. Equity as well as inclusiveness. Equity and inclusiveness. How we are going on, how we are moving on, how the equity, how we can ensure it. These all are asked in this particular question. Means we are going to ensure equity, we are going to ensure justice, we are going to ensure inclusiveness by the recruitment of women into the Supreme Court judges. How the answer should be there? First we have to have the facts. First we need to have the facts. Very important. Facts strengthen your answer. Don't think that only analysis is enough. Facts also important. So, how you have to make your notes means facts with respect to legislature, facts with respect to executive, facts with respect to judiciary. How many MLAs or MPs, mainly MPs, how many MPs women are there? How many MPs SCs are there? How many MPs STs are there apart from reservation? Any SC MP he is winning from general category seat means great. Are you getting my point? Other than the SC reserved categories of member of parliament in parliamentary constituency, any SC is winning from general category means that is called as inclusiveness. So, the SCs who are entering into the parliament or law making bodies are mainly from SC reserved categories, reservations. If really there is a development, if really there is a inclusiveness means obviously he will also win from general category, no? In your UPSC preparation, in your UPSC examination, 15% SC, 7.5% ST, 27% OBC, 10% EWS. Out of 40 is merit, 40% is merit. In this 40, only general categories are there, or whether SC person is also getting success in general category or not. If SC person is getting success in general category means yes, the section of people got empowered. The section of people got empowered. We are bothered only about the reservation. We are bothered only about the reserved categories. So, in that way our answer should be there. In the same way, you should have some factual information. You should have facts. Women into parliament, SCs into parliament. Wow. Which SC? Not only reserved category, in merit category also SCs into parliament, STs into parliament, minorities into parliament, judiciary, SCs into judiciary, STs into judiciary, women into judiciary, minorities into judiciary. You know, only single judge is there from minorities. 14.2% of India population is Muslims and only one Muslim is Supreme Court judge. Whether that type of system we want a system which is inclusive, which is participatory, which is equity, which is ensuring social justice, but we have only one minority from Muslim community. We have SCs and STs in parliamentary, but they are all reserved candidates, not general candidates. They are not from the general. So, this factual information of executive also, you know, only one or two, I remember, I think it's only one who is into the Council of Minister of Narendra Modi government cabinet. Only one minister is there in Narendra Modi government. Absence of inclusiveness in executive, absence of inclusiveness in legislature, absence of inclusiveness in judiciary. When you have the facts, you can address this type of questions. It seems to be yes, women participation should be there. Sahi hai, women participation should be there. Women should be present everywhere. Without facts, how you will prove it? Where is the evidence? So, you have to make a notes. In that notes for SC especially, ST especially, minority especially, OBC especially, how much section of people are there in executive, legislature, judiciary and bureaucracy also you have to mention, which will be useful for in any of the optional subjects also it will be useful. Why? Because minority is an expected question. Minority is number. So, statistics makes difference. Recently, CJI has called for 50% of reservation in for women in the judiciary. He has also supported the demand to increase the gender diversity and legal education for women. Status of representation of women in higher judiciary is very minimal, very minimal. You won't believe. Approximately somewhere around 11% judges or lawyers are there in judicial system in India. Desirability of greater representation of women in the higher judiciary. Why? Because they will be gender sensitive. There will be gender sensitization will be there. They will be more concerned about the gender justice. They will be more concerned about the gender issue. Then the body I will write why they required, what is the requirement of them. The decision of N.V. Ramana is correct. Conclude with a way forward to improve the representation of women in the judiciary. How there is a reservation for legislature for 33% under 108 Constitutional Amendment Bill. Similarly, there is a read for reservation for women into the higher judiciary also. At least they get a step into the judiciary. That is my way forward. In this way, my answer will be there for 2021. This is social justice question. Second question. Can the vicious cycle of gender inequality, see how many questions? Well, I was been discussing in Indian society, women issues, 12 women issues we discussed. In family, in public places, in defense, in sports, these many issues we discussed. I told if you are strong in women issues, you will address all the questions in all the papers, mainly the questions which are asked with respect to women. Gender, can the vicious cycle of gender inequality, poverty and malnutrition to be broken through microfinancing of women, self-help groups. Explain with examples. We discussed about self-help groups. Self-help groups, microfinancing institutions, microfinance institution linked with self-help group or self-help group bank linkage program, self-help group. First we have to mention who are self-help groups. Then second paragraph we have to mention what are microfinance institutions. Third, how microfinance institutions are helping self-help groups. Fourth, what are the characteristics which are present in self-help groups and microfinance institution which is focusing on women. Because the question is women. Generally, what is SHG I will mention. Generally, what is MFI I will mention. Third, generally the relationship between SHG and MFI I mention. And fourth, women centric. Why? Because the question is about women centric. Gender inequality results in unequal opportunities in terms of access to health, education, nutrition and quality jobs, pushing women into poverty and malnutrition. Microfinancing of women self-help groups can target women sitting at the bottom of the poverty pyramid with higher socio-economic inequalities. How? How? By nutritional indicators, by community involvement, by decision-making ability, by socio-economic empowerment, by credit availability. These all benefits. Most of the self-help groups in India, 90% of the self-help groups in India are women-centric. Women empowerment is happening because of self-help groups, and for them there is a requirement of credit if they want to pursue any self-employment opportunity. But the institutional credit system, what is the institutional credit system? Banking sector is reluctant to give loans to SHGs. But there is one more institution which is called as microfinance institutions, which are regulated by RBI to give loans to SHGs. That is the reason there is a link between SHG and MFI. Mainly it focusing on women empowerment. Third, see how many questions are there? 2021. Women. So women in post-independent India have excelled in various fields. Yes, she excelled in sports, she excelled in defense, she excelled in science and technology, everywhere she excelled. Compared with pre-independence, the social attitude towards women and feminist movements, has been patriarchal. But however, how much ever she excelled, there is a patriarchal mindset is present among the men. You are woman, you have to sit. You are woman, your role is this. Yes, you might be working, but you have to remember that your main work is at home. Your main work is at taking care about the family. Yes, you might be the partner in the business, you might be the person who is involving in job, you might be the person who is taking care about the business of the organization, but finally your main duty lies at a family level. So the patriarchal mindset is present in spite of the woman is getting excelled. With examples you have to prove. Best example what? Benazir Bhutto was being killed only because she was standing in front of the men in Pakistan and asking for the development of the nation and contesting for the prime ministerial candidate. She was being attempted 2 times. When the culprits were being asked why you people attempted, or you are from any terrorist group, they told that no, we are not any terrorist groups, but that woman is standing in front of the men and giving the lecture. This is Pakistan, this is patriarchal system. So, in spite of the excellence, in spite of the development, there is a patriarchal system. In India, we have a lot of examples. Sexual harassment in sports industry. Sexual harassment in sports industry is a very common thing. Me Too movement, whereby the film industry, entertainment industry is been accused like anything because of sexual complaints. So, in spite she is entering into the entertainment industry, in spite she is entering into the corporate sector, but the patriarchal mindset is not going away. That is the question is about. You have to substantiate with examples. Means what? What is the lessons learned in your notes? You should make notes. You should make a note. I gave you examples in women, in defense, at workplace, at corporate, in villages, in tribals, more at workplace, education, health, different examples. So these examples will improve your standard of your answer. That is the first part of the question. Apart from women education and women empowerment schemes, what intervention can change this milieu, this gap? means more what we required. Already we have women empowerment schemes, already we have women development schemes, but still that milieu is not changed. That gap is still existing. How to bridge the gap? Innovative solutions. He is not talking about already existing. See, apart from women education and women empowerment schemes, I know you will tell that. UPSC is telling you. I know you will tell that women education, I know there are women empowerment schemes. Apart from them, what interventions can help to change this milieu? 133% reservation to the women, 108 constitutional amendment bill, more power for women reservations in 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act as well as 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. There should not be any Pati Panchayat system. There should not be any Pati Panchayat system. The woman should participate and woman herself should involve. Mainly men should support the woman who is in trouble. This type of answers you have to write. Solutions you have to write. So, education and government schemes for women empowerment are not sufficient. A different set of interventions are needed, like urbanization, gender urbanization, public safety, women safety, family values, mainly where the problem is with respect to family values. Education and empowerment schemes are necessary to support feminist movements, but issues hindering gender equality in India require more fundamental and practical approach. As rightly said, that the woman herself is accepting the patriarchy. So there is a need for women to accept that patriarchy is not a thing which is naturally present. It is also an object which is made by the men to be accepted by the woman. Woman herself should come out of the clutches of patriarchy. Why? Because the men are accepting. Yes, women should come out, but women are not accepting. Yes. 2020. In order to enhance the prospects of social development, sound and adequate healthcare policies. So the question is about healthcare policies. Healthcare policies are needed particularly in the fields of geriatric and maternal healthcare. Now the question comes. People should know what is this geriatric. What is geriatric? When you know about what is this geriatric, or we can also pronounce like geriatric, yes. Geriatric is study of elderly, study of old people, are needed particularly in the fields of geriatric, means old people, elderly people, more vulnerable, and maternal health care. So the question is about, he is asking, he want answer from you from two perspectives. One perspective is elderly, other perspective is mother. So what are the steps taken by the government of India? What are the steps taken by various state governments for improvement in the health conditions of the old people, for the improvements of elderly people? The question is about. So I will write like this. Decade of healthy aging 2020-2030. 2020-2030 was being declared as decade of healthy aging, means I should become aged, but my aging should be what? Healthy. Means there should be chronological aging but not biological aging. So chronologically I should become old but not biologically, means my aging should be coterminous with my chronological aging. But nowadays what happening, the man is 40 years but his features are 60, 70. That particular condition is called as senescence. That particular condition is called as senescence. That is a major problem. Abnormality in aging. So the government of India want to have a decade of healthy aging from 2020 to 2030. Yes, he will become aged, but a healthy aged person. First point. And national program for elderly health care, number 2, are launched primarily focusing on elderly health, and Matru Vandana Yojana, Janani Suraksha Yojana for mother, Pradhana Mantri Surakshit Matreva Abhiyan, Navajat Sishu Suraksha Karikram, National Program for Family Planning, and Lakshya Program Labour Room Quality Improvement Initiatives focusing on maternal and child health have been launched by the government. So the government schemes also, again, lessons learned while you are making notes. All elderly people, government schemes in one page. All mother government schemes in one page. All neonatal infant children government schemes one page. Anyhow, you are going to have the government schemes. At that time, I will divide it and I will give you proper classes and PDFs. But the division is very important. So, if there is a question on elderly, answer should be with respect to elderly. If there is a question on maternal, maternal based government schemes. Child, child based government. Very important, I didn't mention here. What is that? You should also maintain it. You should also write about Maintenance of Parents and Senior Citizens Amendment Act of 2016. This act is telling that now it's the responsibility of the children, not only the biological children. 2006 got amended in 2016 and it told that it is not only the responsibility of the biological children, apart from biological children, it is son-in-law, daughter-in-law, adopted children, grandchildren are responsible for taking care of the senior citizens and parents, number one. Number two, earlier, when the children telling that parents, we will take care about you in your old age. Now you give your property. If the property is given, but children are not taking care, the 2006 Amendment Act is telling that now the property can be reversed. Now the property can be reversed. Number three, earlier it is only food, clothing, shelter, but now food, clothing, shelter, safety, security, recreation also. Fourth, earlier the maintenance was been fixed to 10,000, but now the maintenance is not fixed to 10,000, the maintenance will be according to the income of the children. So, more rights for whom? More rights for whom? Elderly, older people, parents or senior citizens. You can also mention National Old Age Pension Scheme. Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme, IGNOAPS. Microfinance, repeated. 2020. See, is it expected or not? Whether it's any rocket science? The mains is not rocket science. If you clear prelims, mains is very, very easy. Microfinance, we did in 2021, repeated in 2020, it is also present in 2019. Microfinance as an anti-poverty vaccine is aimed at asset creation and income security of the rural poor in India. It's a vaccination, I have a problem. Oh, there is microfinance institution is there. COVID came, there is Covaxin is there. Problem, daughter marriage is there, there is microfinance institution is there. Earlier, I need to go to the money lender, exorbitant interest rates. Whatever I had used to take away. But now there is an institution called as microfinance institution and which is regulated by RBI guidelines. So no need to worry. Now it is acting like a vaccination. Anti-poverty vaccination. If not, I am pushed into poverty. Why? Because I used to go near money lenders. So the question is indirectly asking about money lenders. Exploitation of money lenders. When money lenders are there, there is exploitation of the rural poor and they will be pushed more into the rural poverty. But now there is a vaccination by the name called as microfinance. Asset creation and income security of the rural poor in India. Evaluate the role of self-help groups in achieving twin objectives along with empowering women in rural India. Twin objectives. He mentioned that twin objectives. Now you tell me, what are the twin objectives? What might be the twin objectives of microfinance institution? One I will tell you. Women empowerment. Self-help groups, MFI, wherever you come across MFI and SHG means he is indirectly targeting women. Second, very good. Poverty, reduction in poverty. These are the two targets. One is reduction in poverty, other is women empowerment. I will write about what is microfinance. I will start my answer with microfinance. It is a practice of providing the poor with credit, savings and insurance facilities to set up or to expand income generation activities relating to agriculture and its allied activities and non-farm sector, thereby reducing the poverty. Mainly I took the example of a urgent requirement. Mainly it will be useful for input for agriculture. The World Bank estimates that more than 500 million people have directly or indirectly benefited from microfinance related operations. SHG are a group of women in rural areas that come together, pool in money and use it for a common purpose, beneficial to all. These groups can act as a microfinance institutions and help elevate the conditions of the rural poor. So there is no requirement of microfinance, means there is no requirement of an institutionalized institution. A group itself can become a microfinance. For example, how? 100 rupees, 10 people. 100 into 10,000 rupees. So today our income of the SHG is 1000, not income. Today contribution is 1000. So this, who want 1000 rupees? Sir, I want 1000 rupees. I want to buy sieving machine. Okay, take this 1000 rupees. Every month you deposit 110 rupees. So now 110 rupees is deposited. 10 rupees is profit. So revenue is increasing. Again 100, you have to do your 100 rupees also. Again 100, again came. Who want 1000 rupees? I want to buy one water for my agriculture. Okay, you go and buy. Take this 1000 rupees. So there is no requirement of an established institution like microfinance institution. There is the SHG itself can become a SHG bank linkage program. Simple. I will go near Canara Bank. We are a group SHG. SHG one bank account will be, separate bank account will be there for SHG, and every individual will have savings account. So from 6 months, all the members of the SHG should have a zero balance account, any balance account, a bank account, a savings account, and one SHG exclusive account. I will open. So every month I have to deposit in that SHG. So bank manager will look into the account. Oh, they are very properly every month they are depositing. So 100% we can give the loan. 20,000 sanction. 20,000 came near SHG. Now what? It is also now a microfinance. So we have 20,000. What we will do? If we give to one person, he might run. We will divide 4 people, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So if any problem is there, remaining 15,000 will be there. Why? Because rather than giving total amount to one person, it is better to solve the problems of 4 or 5 people. So it is acting like a microfinance institution. Earlier question directly asked about MFI, but this question is about SHG itself is a microfinance. Like that we have to write the answer. Skill development, rural poverty, SHG bank linkage program by NABARD in 1992. It envisages combination of formal financial sector and informal sector. The formal financial institutions in India have entered into microfinance in a massive way. National Education Policy 2020 is in conformity with Sustainable Development Goal 4, 2030. First you have to know what is Sustainable Development Goal 4. So here we will stop. Sustainable Development Goal. You don't know. Use your common sense. What is the second word in the question? Second word. Education. So something which is related to education. So 100% literacy rate. S. Sustainable Development Goal is targeting 100% literacy rate by 2030. By common sense, it became correct. So from the question itself, we should be in a position to draw the answer. It intends to restructure and reorient the education system in India. Critically examine the statement. Direct question of National Education Policy. Who will tell me National Education Policy quickly? 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Primary, secondary, higher. What are all there? Compulsory primary in local language. Next, compulsory vocational education. Next, education. Then what is National Education Policy key provisions? Key provisions I will mention, but the question is about, he is not asking about NEP, only one part, 4 or 5 points. What we discussed, only those points we will add. Now, it intends to restructure and reorient the education system in India. Critically examine the statement, means challenges. What are the challenges for it? What are the challenges for it? The challenges for it. Tell me, what are the challenges for it? Very good. Allocation of funds, very good. First, funds. How much? 1.2% of the GDP. But how much is recommended? 3% of the GDP. 3% of the GDP is recommended. but it is only 1.2% of the GDP, whereas health sector it is 3.4. How much is recommended? 6% of GDP. So education is allocation of funds. Next. Very good. Teacher, quality teacher. It's not the student, the teacher should be qualitative. Quality teachers. Primary education should be in vernacular language. Here, translation of subject in every language with its quantity, correct. Originality. What will happen? One question was been there last 2011 or 12, I remember, in United Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission. The question is about reality shows. It is in UPSC Group 1 essay question. In English language, it is there about there is an impact of reality shows on Indian society. In Telugu conversion, it was about Pratyaksha Prasaralu. Whether Pratyaksha Prasaralu is equivalent to reality shows. Pratyaksha Prasaralu means live. Everyone written about live cricket, live football, live matches. But the question is about reality shows. Better coordination between center and states. This is missing. Fund allocation to 6% of the GDP should be as mentioned in the policy needs effective implementation. This much of GDP is required. But how much we are? Somewhere around. Okay, that is convergence of the government schemes. Convergence of means all the schemes under one umbrella. Depth scrutiny for allowing foreign universities. These are in this way we have to previous year's question. You tell me 2020 national education policy, is it not expected question? Is it not expected question? Every person who is going to write the mains, he will go across NEP. But the problem is he will by heart the provisions. He will not try to understand the challenges. He will not try to understand the criticism. Other way around. So it results in problem. The previous questions of 2020 and 2021.